Hello, hello. I hope you're doing okay today. Let me know where you're at, and I'm assuming I'm clear enough to be heard, but would love to have some confirmation of that somewhere in the chat as well. Today we're working on a project for my course, so I figured I would just share it here live while I'm working on it, so you can get a preview even if you're not, if you haven't gotten the course. But hopefully it will be more, well defined by the time I get to the course itself. But right now I'm just building out one of the projects we're going to do in the course, and figured might as well stream. We know also balance on music and stuff like that as well. And we'll get started here in just a second. Welcome from Bosnia. Thanks for joining. Never been to Bosnia. Tell me about it. Hey, welcome. Okay, I'm almost ready on my end to get started, but I'll give everyone just a minute or two more. Should probably share this somewhere else as well, so maybe let me share this on Twitter real fast as well, and then I'll be back. But yeah, let me know where you're watching from and if audio sounds okay and stuff like that.
I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's pretty.
All right. Northeast India, from a state called Meghalaya. Meghalaya? I have no idea if I said that anywhere close to correct, but awesome. Thanks for joining. Can you make a video on the roadmap for TypeScript for beginners who just learned React.js? I'm not sure I'm quite skilled enough to do that, but I do want to do some TypeScript content, and because I feel very much like a beginner, it would be in that vein. So there are some kind of interesting things with React in particular that you just have to kind of know how React type stuff. So anyhow, there's definitely some content there. I haven't gotten around to it. So all right, let me go ahead and switch stuff over, and we'll get started here. Again, I was going to do this anyhow this morning, so I figured I'd do something. Make an e-commerce website with Astro. You can sell your products. CMS like payload. So I will probably do, my course is going to be mostly focused on Astro proper, just because I want to stay focused on the tools you have available to you, and hi officially. And then if you want to do something like that, you should be able to build that out with my course, like the content in it. And then I would plan to do things like actually exploring a specific CMS and things like that, just free on YouTube. So, but all the background stuff is, would be in my course, is kind of the idea of what I'm planning on doing. But because obviously you're not going to roll your own like credit card processing and stuff like that. You're going to tie into some kind of system, and I don't want to spend a lot of time in my Astro course explaining Stripe the whole time, or that kind of thing. How do you make the grid effect? Let's see. You mean like this grid effect here? Yeah, I just used Figma, I think. So. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Again, I don't have, I'm just like in the middle of this build, so I figured I would just share it. As you can see, I decided to add some theming to it just because, I don't know. Sometimes you can't help yourself, So there's the light mode, there's the dark mode, just swapping my machine back and forth. But so far I've got basically the top part done-ish. And I'm just going to be taking notes over on the side. In fact, let me make sure I'm just going to open this up over here because I've been taking notes kind of on what I'm doing. And I'll probably change this as I get going, and whenever I end up publishing it as well, usually I change stuff around as well, so it happens. This is how the sausage is made, at least how I make it. So, all right, let me make sure I've got everything I need. Meta type, I think that's pretty much all. So I'm going to go ahead and actually commit this to. I should have probably done that ahead of time. We're going to call this lesson 42 prep. And call that good. Okay. All right, npm renda. Let's get this thing back up and running. Okay, I'm just going to build out kind of the next section here. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with these because I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. Probably, I don't know if I'll end up using mine like this or not, so I think I'm going to jump over here and we'll go to codingpublic.dev and just steal some screenshots. Actually, just a second. Let me switch off my screen just because I don't know what's in this folder. I might already have these. Let's check. Yeah, I already got these. Okay. So let me just drag them in here and then I'll pull my screen back up. So we've got this one. We've got this one. Okay. Switch back over and here we go. Let me make sure I can see if anyone's commenting. Nobody's commenting. Okay, that's fine. I made that sound so sad. All right, let's do the next little section here, which will be this section down here. And what I'm trying to do is basically build out a project. I end up having, I've got several pages here, but where you've got like, yeah, and I think I actually might add another section here for a blog. We'll see. But yeah, where you've got several things you can work on that are all connected to what you've been doing so far in the course. So I've got about almost 5 hours of content, like 440, something like that, in the course so far. So I mean, I've gone through the core basics of Astro at this point, and so now we're trying to build out a project that incorporates all those things in different ways. So far I've loaded like some local data. I've loaded this stuff from a data file. This is content collections, like a data content collections. This will be probably the same thing, so we'll get kind of practice twice in a row. So let's go ahead and do this next. And yeah, I've got to kind of remember myself how I had this set up. So I've got a section wrapper. Let's see, what does this includes container thing do? So this is one way you can do this with this boolean. I don't know that I really love this. I kind of feel like if you want a container, just pass it in as a string. Yeah, I'm going to change this. See, this is what happens. All right, you got classes. We're just going to pass this in. Why is this a string container boolean? Oh, it's okay. You'll be fine. Well, let's do this, I guess. Can I do this? Okay, that'll work. So let's get rid of this. That should break some stuff. Probably at some point. Is that true by default? Yeah. Okay, so I might need to go update that in a couple places. So I don't need this. Where else am I using this? Feature section. Hero section. Okay, so here I would also need to pass in container now. Is that everywhere? Features banner, that's what I already did. Okay, so yeah, I hadn't used it that much yet. Okay, good, because I didn't like that. Let's come over here and let me go ahead and let's first of all start with creating a new content collection. And right now what we're going to do is just have two of these things. And as you can see, we've got different icons available depending on kind of what we're wanting to do. This section here that points to projects as a URL. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to copy some of this stuff to a clipboard. And that way we've got them. So we'll do that kind of top banner section thing first. So let me go ahead and duplicate this. We'll call this project grid. I don't know, project banner, projects. It's like a projects, yeah, projects grid works for me. All right, so here we are. We're going to call this recent projects. We're good there. We'll keep all this the same. I've got this heading component that I can basically take in any tag name, and then you can size it as well. Let me see what I've got here. Don't take my word for it. Yeah, that'll work. And then below here, we'll have a paragraph with all this. And then below here, we'll have a button, which I think I have a link component, maybe. Let's see. There we go. See all projects. That should work, and then I need to pass it an href, which will be projects. Okay, just so we can actually see this, let me go ahead and pull it in on the index page. Projects grid, man, I don't know why this, I gotta figure out this extension thing, it's driving me insane. There we go. A very pleasant looking backdrop there. What do I got going on here? Okay, we don't need this. What I call this wrappy. I mean, do whatever you want, Chris. Okay, that should work. Let's see, do I have the color? The container. Why is the rest of this all this color? I don't know. Well, probably that. Yeah. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so we got all that. I've got some different button options. I don't remember what I did here. Okay, so it's that one. So it's coming to the link component because I don't remember how I've had that set up. Secondary is the other variant. So we'll grab a variant and we'll call this secondary. And now this should be an outline. Okay, perfect. Other thing I should probably do with this link component is make it to where, let's do with a fit content, because that way it will only take up the space it needs, even if it's a grid or flex child, but it will wrap if it needs to. Okay, we're gonna call all that good. We're going to need to group this in its own little section though. So I guess I'll have this as a little rows section, which is a utility class that I have. And then I can come inside here. Sure, we can, I don't remember how I had this. Bigger than that. Okay, so let's do like 60 characters. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is grab any paragraphs inside here. And this CSS is a little flimsy. But I'm trying to have people write no CSS in the course or very little, just because the point is basically if you understand how it works, then I'll let you roll your own CSS like when you want to, but that's kind of the idea. Okay, let's also then justify content center. I forget what kind of a child this is. So we'll just margin inline it, auto, perfect. All right, I think we're good there then. Sure thing we are. See all projects, click on this, we go to projects, nothing's there. Why are we over here again? Okay. All right, so we got that stuff done. Let's then, I think that's all good. That's good here. These columns are fine. We can stick with the same columns thing. We're just gonna change up this features. So let me make some notes for myself over here. Lesson 43. What am I doing? Project grid. So we're gonna copy over the banner thing. What was that? Banner component. Add some grouping to the top section and add a button. What else am I gonna do? Create content collection for projects. Add images to assets. Actually, we'll probably do it to the collection. Add project files. Sure. Okay. Seems about right. Let's come over here. Home components. What am I looking for here? Content. So let's go ahead and create a new thing. We're going to call this projects. And it will be a data type as well. And let's see, I basically need a title, a link, an image, a list of icons. Should I have a description of some kind? I mean, probably. I'm not going to use this for here. I'm outputting this to a custom link. I don't know that I do. So we'll just have title, icon, that's fine. Not sure how I want to do this validation, like because it's an image file, but I'm not using it. Yeah, I'm basically just verifying that it starts with icon, and I'm going to make sure. I don't know that I like that. We'll see. I think that might be confusing for people. Either way, what I want here is a list of. So I want to verify that these are actual, like, extent like icons that people can actually pull in, which are in an icons directory over here. So, not sure how that's going to work. I could just have a list of things that they can choose from. Maybe that's the, maybe this is an opportunity to create another content collection and reference it, which is something else we've done in the course, and I don't think I'll do it anywhere else in this project because there's not really any place to do that. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have tags, or yeah, tags. Tools, because I might have tags for the blog post actually. So this might be the second time we do this. So we'll call this tools. Type of data. Yeah, I think we can do this, and then we can have the icons in there. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so I can actually basically copy this verbatim like this. Starts with icon. That should work. And I'll just make sure that all those files start with icon, I guess. I don't know. Still don't love that. It'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Okay. Then what I want to do is just z.reference. Not z.reference, just a reference from the Astro content. We're going to reference the tools. And that means I need to have tools down here. And I need to have projects. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the tools first. We'll do Vite, I guess, .yaml. And here I need a title. This would be Vite. And I need an icon, and this would be how I put these in here. Icon? No. Okay. So we're going to do, for now, I'll just call this like icon Vite. Is how this will eventually be. And then I'll have to drag that in. What else do I have? Tailwind. Do the same thing here, Tailwind. What else did I have? HTML5. CSS3, man. I mean, sure, I guess we could do that. Just trying to show some examples here. So we'll just call HTML. And then CSS. Okay, I think that's good there. I think that's good there. All right, so I'm going to pull in those, which means I need to export them unless I already have them exported. We'll see. Switch back over just because I don't know what's in that folder. But I can show. Let's see. Nothing. So let's go ahead and export these things down here. So I'm going to grab this here and come down this way. Export a SVG. Sure thing. Don't know what this is going to pull up, so sorry again. So that happens when I'm just coding myself. I don't have to pay attention to what's in my folders. export. I'm just going to do the same thing for HTML. And we'll do the same thing for Vite. Did I use Tailwind? Oh yeah, I have Tailwind there too. SVG. I have no idea how many people are watching, if people enjoy this kind of stuff. It looks like there's enough people who hopefully enjoy this. It's definitely more just like a realistic project of me just cranking stuff out. So, oh, you know what? I did the wrong thing there. I called that Tailwind, and it was, or I called it CSS, and it was Tailwind. Tailwind. One more, and then I'll switch my screen back here. Oh, I also have React. I didn't see that. Okay. Export. SVG. Call this CSS. And finally, we've got React. And I'll be right back with you. SVG, export frame, icon React. Okay. Oh, suddenly my entire live chat just updated. I don't know what that was. So it looks like people have been commenting. Are you using Tailwind CSS? No, I'm just using plain old CSS so that people can copy it in. How about the sell website for clients? You caught one of these lives. Hey, welcome, Logan. Is Astro full stack? I mean, depending on your definition of that, it's not like a meta framework or anything. I think Theo even called it a fake framework the other day. We are commenting. Okay, sorry, got a bore. Discord channel, it is created. Yeah, I already created my Discord channel. It's just only for people who purchase the course right now. I may make it public eventually and like lock off a section, but right now it's just for people in the course. Hey Dante, welcome. Welcome Branson. Why do you prefer Astro over Next.js? Astro gives you, I guess I should probably at some point switch back so you can actually see me instead of just the banner, sorry. So let me drag these things in and then I'll do that. Okay, let me put this over here and then I'll answer your question. So we're going to drag all these into the icons directory. Okay, and then I will transition back. Okay, so why do I prefer Astro over Next.js? I mean, a lot of it is that I know you can do a lot of stuff server side now. Stuff's moving back to the server, even with Next and other stuff. But even so, like I feel like the default for Next is like they give you everything and then you cut back what you don't want. Whereas Astro starts the other way. You start with like just basically web fundamentals. And as you need complexity, you add it. So it's like just-in-time complexity, just-in-time progressive enhancements, instead of like start with everything in the kitchen sink and then kind of go from there. So that's my personal opinion. But I'm obviously like, I'm not a super intense React dev, and I've built some sites with Next, but very small ones. So I'm sure somebody with more experience would have another take on that, but that's my personal take. Brain Core, I'm not sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can build a full stack kind of site through. You got to roll out of your own stuff. So in that sense, it's not like a meta framework, like I mentioned. They don't give you everything out of the box. You don't have auth built in and all this stuff, but you can kind of add complexity as you need it, and the community is growing up around it quite a bit to where it's becoming easier and easier. Yeah, e-commerce, I would use Astro personally. You've got dynamic API endpoints you can hit, server side, like you can run SSR. The hybrid mode is super cool because you start with everything SSG by default unless you decide to not pre-render a page. So I don't know, I just think like for most people that's enough that are building sites. Obviously if you're building apps, you should use something else, but personally I wouldn't use Astro for like building a full app. But I don't think anybody's suggesting that either, so maybe they are. Maybe there's a conspiracy I don't know about. Okay, let's make sure I change all these to icon whatevers. Icon React, icon HTML, icon CSS, icon Tailwind, I don't see. And I also don't see icon Vite. Aha. Okay, so now these all should be set. Now what we can do is, I'll probably need to come in there actually and change how they're rendered or how the HTML looks, but let's close this down. Okay, so back inside here, starts with icon, that'll work. Now let's come back inside here, icon CSS. So this should reference that file name. This isn't really type safe, but I don't know. So this, I'm not sure I love this, but we'll see. HTML, we got that. Tailwind, we got that. Vite, we got that. What else do we have? React. So let's grab both of these into React. How about that? All right, now that we've got this separate content collection, we should be able to reference that here. I guess you have to do it as a string. I'd forgotten that. Okay, so now I'm referencing the icon here. And really what I want to do is have an array of icons. So let's do z.array of those things. All right, so you can have multiple icons. All right, title. The other thing I need is an image here. So here I will actually pull in the little image helper you get, assuming I can type. Goodness. And then we'll return z.object. And here we can say like thumbnail or something like that. And this will be image. And I guess we could refine it if we really wanted to, but probably keep it simple for now. All right, I think that is good there. Let's just go ahead and create the projects. Yeah, that's another great point, Fasil. Like, Next.js is like nobody's looking for Astro devs for like if you're trying to get a job, nobody's like must be experienced in Astro. Like they're looking for something like Next. Yeah, I think Astro is popular with developers, but like for a company to change any stack. So if you're looking for a job, yeah, we'll learn Next. Hey Max, welcome. Hey, thanks for your kind words. Yeah, so I started programming and doing development in 2020. So yeah, it's been about 3 years. Can we see the project page? Is it there? No, not yet. No more coupon discounts? Hey, stuff happens. I'm not going to say there is or there isn't today, so you just got to wait and see what happens. Projects, we're going to do, we'll do one.yaml. And in here, I'll do something like this. Yeah, I like to drop little codes here or there, so once you change it to icons, you know, that does seem like the right thing to do emotionally, don't you think? Thanks, Dante. More flexible on the front end, more free in the back end. Amazing. Hey, thanks, Max. Hey, Logan. Yeah, no, I mean, I have an obsessive personality, which doesn't super help. And then I think that the channel has helped me just like stay working on it. And it was never really supposed to be anything. I didn't tell my wife for like 6 months that I was recording videos. It sounds so secretive, but I was just recording them and posting because it helps me to explain myself to myself. Like that's how I learn. And then people started watching. So I haven't really changed what I've done. I just do whatever I'm currently working on, which doesn't make for great like sub counts. And like, you know, I'm not like, I don't know if I've ever been like sub and subscribe and ring the bell. Like if anything, I think at the beginning, several videos, I was like, please don't hit the bell because nobody needs notifications. Then I realized I probably shouldn't shoot myself in the foot. But yeah, no. And I don't know. I just like building stuff. I don't know. So, but it's okay if you're not like that. And eventually I need to slow down or I'll burn myself out. But I've tried to be pretty careful with that. So if I feel like I'm starting to get burned out, I just take a break. And, but I don't know. Not everyone has their own capacities based on their time of life, what's going on, everything else. So don't beat yourself up if you feel lesser. There's people who've done twice as much as I have in my time, and it's just like, you know, that's fine. We're all going to be okay. Tailwind landing page. Yeah, I think people feel like if they beat themselves up emotionally too, that it will help them be more like, it'll help motivate them, but that's usually not how motivation works, personally. Hey, you're welcome, Dante. Currently working a job. Yeah, so I'm not a developer at all. I just do this for fun in the mornings and the evenings. So my YouTube channel is just what I do for fun, basically. Started getting into AI. Yeah, AI dev tools. I have some. Mostly I just interact with ChatGPT. Couple coding things, done some image stuff. I don't know. I've written a couple Python scripts and that process text and stuff like that, but yeah, not too much. Okay, back to what we were supposed to be doing. I mean, I'm happy to hear anyone say anything, but I'm going to have an images folder in here, or we'll just call it thumbnails. Thumbnails, is that right? Yeah. And then I'm going to grab this and this, and we're going to drag these in here. You can keep them anywhere you want. The assets folder is not required to use it, like the Astro image component thing, but in this case, I just want them relative here because this has to be a relative path. So we're going to go up, and then we'll go to thumbnails. Yeah. No, it's same directory. Yeah, thumbnails, and then let's call this tailwind.jpg. And then here we're going to have an array of items, and I don't remember what I would have had here. Let's see, tailwind, HTML, and Vite. So we'll do tailwind, HTML, and Vite. And this is referencing the other content collection. So assuming I did this right, which, you know, there's always a possibility I did not. Maybe we should name this something else too. We'll call this tailwind landing page. Then these are going to reference the, let's see, these right here, the file names essentially, CSS, HTML, whatever I've named these, that's what I'm tagging in over here. So moment of truth, we'll see if any of this is even slightly correct. Let's go ahead and pull in projects from projects. Something happened. Icons required. Oh. Did I copy that over, Dante, and not change the name? Look at that. Okay. Features is not defined. It's probably down here, right? Aha. There's no description. There's no icon for now. So let's get rid of this. Shut this down. Something like that. Okay. There we go. We got a title coming in. That's a thing. That's happening. All right. Try Aider for Dev. Okay. How many projects are you planning to include in this Astro course? So there's a bunch of little mini projects, and then basically at the end of each section, there'll be a big project. So yeah. Build dynamic applications with the CMS. I don't know if I'll do it on a stream or not, but I've certainly done CMS style content before with Astro on my channel. And I've got some plans to do something with key static, at least front matter as well. I just, because it's just a YouTube channel, it's just what I do my time. It's hard. Hey, comrade, thanks for coming. Welcome. Yeah, it's hard to always fit in everything I want to do, and I wait until I actually use it in real life, and then I just use that code and record it and change names out and stuff. So, all right. So what we're gonna do, I think in this case, what I want to do is make this. I think I'm gonna make this just a div, and I think I'm gonna make these articles. That feels right to me. And then what I think we'll probably do is split these things out. Let's make sure this is all good. That's still cool. Yeah, I'm good with all that. I think we'll split this out to its own component. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I don't know if I really like this. We'll call this project tile.astro. Come on. Okay, so let's go and grab this. Let's see right here. Does that work? I think that works. Yeah, let's grab all this. And we'll substitute project tile here. And we'll eventually pass some stuff down, but for now, we'll add this in here, data.title. Let's do title from Astro props. Drop this in here. All right. Here I think what I'll do is I'll just spread in this data. We'll do it like that. I should be able to get the title in there still. Yeah, okay. Probably need to type this as well. So I'm using TypeScript lightly, basically just to define component stuff, but that's about it. Do you do any freelancing? Sometimes, but honestly, like I just haven't had time recently. Yeah, I used to. I do more stuff with companies now, where I do some work for some companies on the side. Any advice on it? I mean, I'd love if you have more specifics there that might be helpful, if you don't mind. But let's see, how do I want to do this? Maybe I should just pull this in as a content type. That'll be easier to type. So let's do that. So instead of having spreading in the data, we'll call this like data. Sure. Can I do this? Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. We'll come over here. We'll do data. Now here we'll type this as a collection entry, and this will be features projects. But yeah, title, data.title. Or I guess I could destructure that. Title, icons. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need to get the entries from that. Oh, that'll be good. I can show how to do that again. What is this thing called? Tailwind something? No. Tailwind landing page. Thumbnail, icons, title. Okay. Icons, thumbnail. We'll destructure all these from the data. All destructured elements are unused. Why doesn't this exist on data? Oh yeah, this would be data. Okay, so now we can say title like that. Title of data.data is undefined. What? No, it's not. I should be getting this in. Let's make sure. What am I getting in here? Oh, I already destructured the data. Okay, so let's retype this as just having data. And this would just be data. Okay. Gotta remember what I was doing here. Okay, so back over this way. We've got the image up top. So let's go ahead and pull in Astro image component. Like that. We'll do src. We'll point to. Should just be the thumbnail. And then I'll do the alt. Will just be the title. That's coming in. Awesome. Let's do width here of like 300, something like that. Does this need to be number? Doesn't look like it. Do 350, something like that. Okay, that'll work. I'll do format. Let's do avif. Keep this thing as small as possible. Okay, what else we got? A little external link situation going on. Let me actually switch this over again and export that as well, because I don't think I've got that anywhere. Export PNG. External. Let's see. Let's call icon external link. I'm not sure why I'm naming these all icon whatever, but that's what I'm doing right now. Let me make sure I got everything else I need before I switch back over. See another couple comments. Is the Astro course price the same for everyone worldwide? Discounts for people less developed. Yeah, so I will have PPP, but right now, which is like parity pricing, purchase power or something. But right now, at least, the cheapest price it will probably be is at $50, which is where it's at now, including like whenever I get around to parity pricing when I get fully like price the course. So if you have concerns about that or questions about that, feel free to email me, and I'm happy to do what I can. But that is my plan for the cheapest that the course will be. Right, just one second. Oh, come on. Trying to grab something real quick, but I'm not seeing it, so. Okay, well, then we are not going to worry about it. Okay. Background music's awesome. Awesome, I can't hear it, so. It's purely for you. Oh man, I forgot to pull this thing in. Let me let me switch back over. And now I'm going to pull this icon in. So all I did was export the icon, and I'm going to drag it into my icons folder. So nothing super intense here. Okay, cool. Let's move this back over. How do you charge for a website? Great question. Never enough. No. Yeah. So what I typically do is, I'll give you my take on working with clients. So I've done several sites. I've switched to where I have two prices. One is for friends. Friends are free, using whatever stack I want, whenever I want to do it, however I want to do it, and they get one round of edits. So if they're cool with that, I will do it for free, but I'm not charging any of my friends my full rate because I wouldn't do that. So if they want the full rate, they got to go to somebody else because I don't want to lose a friend over a client, if that makes sense. When it comes to actually then working with a real client, what I do is I typically start by sending them, I'm getting all kinds of questions about development. Okay. That's fine. We can do that. What I typically do is I start with a super long list of questions about everything to do with their clients, to their expectations for content, to their images, who's going to send me all the data, if I have to write copy, if I have to do any designs. Like, it's like 500 questions. And the reason I do that is because I want them to realize, like, when I send them a price, there's a lot included in that price that they don't ever think about that I have to make decisions on. Do they have a designer? Do they not have a designer? If I have to do it, how many rounds of edits are they expecting? Do they have any sites they currently like? Do they have any branding already? Like, there's so many questions that go into it that most clients are just like, can you put a website together for me? And so by making them basically put the upfront cost up before we even come to an agreement, answering a ton of questions that give me an idea of scope and all this kind of stuff, then there's no surprises for them. So I typically I try to make it overwhelming. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for joining. And so that's my typical approach is I start with that. Then from there, if they haven't been scared away yet, then I plan out a basic scope of the project, timing sections of the project, and I define like how many revisions they get. When I need copy by, when I will start work. So for instance, I'll say like round one is, let's say they want me to do design. Round one is I will do a rough mock-up of all the general content for the site, like just, yeah, it is a real pain, Logan. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard not to underprice yourself, or to let scope creep kind of, happen. So I'll say like round one is what I'm going to do is design this thing. I will send you basically like a layout of the site, no real design yet. Oh, I just turned my camera into something weird, but now it's going to zoom in and out. I have this camera thing that will like try to like help you, and it doesn't help. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'll say like I'm going to design it, just let a wireframe basically, send it to you. You get one round of edits for that. That would include how many pages are included. After that point, if you want to change anything, then that's fine. But what's going to happen is I'm going to charge more. So every time you change anything, I get to charge more. So once we hit the first stage, I have every page defined, how many routes they're going to be, what each of them, the wireframes will look like. So that's round one. Round two, I will then design if they need branding, then I do branding. And that's usually I give them 2 rounds of edits on that. So like every single step, you're saying, here's exactly what you get to do. Any change to this, we start a new contract for that particular line of work. Round 3 is I might design all the stuff on mobile. And if they're happy with that, then I go to round 4 where I do all the stuff on desktop. And at each of these stages, they get 1 or 2 round of edits. And at that point, it's locked in. And if they haven't given me enough data up front, then they may not like it. But it's like, this is how we do it so that I can, project how much time it's going to take me, etc. For each of these, I'm also guessing how long it takes me, and I track all my time. And then what I do is whatever I think it'll take me, I at least 2.5 it for a project. So if I think it's going to take me 10 hours, I charge 25 hours because I know it's going to happen. I either will stink at it or they will. And I don't tell them that I'm doing it by the hour. I give them a fixed price. But in my mind, I'm thinking, here's how many hours it's going to take me. And then eventually I'll get to development where I develop a first round. They get to have, again, 2-3 round of edits at that point. But at each of those stages, like let's say that I'm waiting on copy for them. I will tell them I will not design it at all until I have all the copy for your entire site. I won't start. And if you don't give it to me by this date, I will not be able to deliver by the date I told you. So like you just have to be, honestly, it's the planning that is the pain in the neck. So if you like planning projects like that and taking a really long time to come out with all those little micro details, and then every time they change, you say, okay, that's a new change to the scope. For that particular change, I will basically come up with a new contract just for that change. It might be an extra $200 as a separate purchase. And then I usually get like at least half up front and then, kind of work my way to full payment at the end. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but that's typically what I do. Okay. How do I handle project scope changes, tight deadlines? What strategies have you found? Basically what I just said. Like, you just define everything ahead of time and go from there. Dante's taking notes. I don't know how helpful that is. That's what I do. That maybe, I think for a lot of clients it scares them off and they have no interest in like that kind of detail. But most clients just say, hey, can you build me a website? And you're like, what do you like? And they're like, I don't know. I'm sure I'll like whatever you do, which is fine. But then they don't. And then you're back at it again. So how do you deal with clients who come with absurdities? I say either of us at any time can break this contract. Great design, and the client asks you image of his cat baby on a smartphone website. Yeah, it happens. If I'm doing design work like that, I basically say like, I need to see ahead of time like the kind of stuff you like, and I need to have usually I have some say in what that will eventually look like. But unless it's like I'm really doing it for my portfolio or something, if they want something stupid, that's up to them. Like, I just don't fight them on that kind of stuff. Because usually it's easier to do stupid stuff. The only time I won't do it is I'll tell them, hey, I want veto power over bad UX. If it's going to be bad for your users or like not accessible for people, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to build a site that, somebody who needs more accessible needs is not going to be able to interact with stuff. If you want that, you can go to somebody else. So I don't know. And at any stage, like, I do say like, hey, if we get to a point where one or both of us feels like this is not working, then we'll find a way to part amicably, and you can build that into the contract to start with. So, all right, what were we doing? Hopefully that was helpful. I'm not sure how helpful that was, but yeah. Needs more animated GIFs and autoplay MIDI files on every page. Make it pop. Exactly. Make it pop. All right, so we've got this section here. We're going to call this columns, and I'm going to put over here an icon, and we'll name this thing icon external link, I think is what I called that. Evidently not. External link. Unable to locate it. That is definitely what it's called. Did I put it in the wrong thing? No, it's in icons. Not sure what's going on there. I don't have to do like .svg. No. What will happen if I do v? Can't find that either. Aha, maybe I just need to restart my dev server then. Okay. Am I an introvert? Definitely an introvert. Yeah. Sometimes you have to pretend to be an extrovert though. So that's what I do. On the questionnaire thing, I'm adding more questions to my questionnaire. Yeah, seriously. If for no other reason than signaling this is a lot of work, it helps your pricing. If they have to spend 4 hours filling out questions before you even agree to anything, or before you can even tell them anything, they're like, okay, this guy's serious. And if they're not interested in paying you, they're gone. And that's fine. But it's going to take you that time no matter what. So you might as well get a lot of those questions answered to start with. How many questions however many questions you have, 2.5 of them. Exactly. Comrade gets it. Thank you, comrade. I'm glad somebody understands me finally. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just had to pull that in. That's weird. Okay, let's give this thing a width of 25-ish. Does this need to be a number? Actually, I think you can use the size here now. I do apologize for anybody who's taken my course so far with this in particular, because Astro Icon just updated to 1.0, and I already had recorded a bunch of videos pre 1.0, so I got to go back and record those 2 videos. So there's some frustrations with working with the icon component. It's not that different, but you do have to have local icons essentially, or install individual packs. So let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything else. I don't think so. Okay, so we got that there. Last thing will be these icons. So these are going to be in, we'll do a little columns here too. Let's just do like icon container though. And I guess these could be a UL. And here we'll have our icons. What I'm going to do is actually grab these, icons, icon data or something like that equals get entries, and we'll pass it the icons. This should get us back, if we await this, basically we've got a reference collection. So now we have to do another fetch for those references, and that's what we're doing now. What's the most underrated skill for a web developer to have, and how has it benefited you in your career? I don't know that I'm skilled enough, or like I have enough knowledge in the whole industry to say that. I can tell you what I think is an underrated skill, which is, I think, what you're asking anyhow, which is, I think, communication and being good at communicating. It's the soft skills that matter. Like, you can learn the hard skills if you just put the work in. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I'm like an expert at those either, but the thing that makes or breaks you as a developer and that makes or breaks you for your time is the soft skills. So, icon data. How's it helped me? I don't know. I guess ask my clients. Some of them might hate me. I think I'm all right. So, icon, and then here we're gonna have an icon that we return, and the name here will be the i.data.icon. And then I guess what we could do is we'll have an ARIA label. Actually, let's just give this thing a title. Sure. I actually don't know if it's better to have both or just one for that. i.data. If I'm going to do data both times, let's just destructure data here. And now I can just save myself a whole 2 characters, 3 characters, 4 characters. Data.title. I think that should work. So there we go. We got these here. And if you hover, then it should pop up with a little tooltip saying what it is. Maybe you should also do an ARIA label here. I don't actually know. If anybody knows, I'd be happy to know that. Data.title. Title. Other questions. Can Astro be integrated with Next.js? No, not to my knowledge. Yeah, Next.js is like a full stack web framework, so I don't think they're going to make room for Astro components or anything like that. Thank you for the answer, Springcore. Yeah. Hey, awesome. Are the legal pages like privacy concerns, terms, conditions needed for every website? I'm not going to give legal advice. Sorry. I don't know. It depends on the client and what they need. I would just say, hey, that might be one of your questions. Like, do you need some kind of legal advice or data or that kind of stuff? And you can kind of go from there. There is this, like, I'm not going to remember this, design checklist. Checklist.design. This is, I found this helpful before, as far as like thinking through what they might need for design. And I wonder if there's something like this for just a website as a whole, but even here, they're giving you like a list of like possible pages. So checklist.design is basically saying, hey, here are the pages you might have. Think through these. If you have a blog page, you might need a hero, a navigation, a layout, blog post preview, social sharing. So like it just helps you think through each page, what you might want to build out. It gives you some inspiration for those things. Anyhow, if somebody submits a form, what might you need? You might need this, then show some kind of loading state, success state. So this has been helpful for me with planning stuff out for clients even. It's just thinking through like, what are the pages they need? What are the different flows they might need? What are different elements I might need to create? I don't know, so that's helpful. But I wonder if there's something like that for a site as a whole. But it does give you pages and stuff like that as a starting point. Let's see. Sorry, I lost access to. Okay, here we go. Another question. When dealing with legacy code, how do you decide whether to refactor or rewrite, and what challenges have you encountered in modernizing older systems? Honestly, I mostly write my own stuff and interact with my own code, which is an advantage and a disadvantage, because you can't blame anybody else but yourself. So I think generally speaking, like with my own code, I basically rewrite it when it's required and not before then. Otherwise, you'd just always be refactoring, because I feel like I'm always learning so much that I'd almost always do something different than I did a month ago. With older systems that other people are using, it's just a time investment. But like usually if it's super complex and you feel like it's done really poorly, it's not worth the time to refactor until you're like losing money, or it's because it's usually just such a house of cards. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's helpful at all. All right. So we got those things stacked up there. Let's go ahead and take this icon container, a couple other things down here, and let's display flex these things. Gap var space, sure, medium maybe. That's way too big. Let's do extra small. Anything else? Let's do justify self, start. Okay, I think that's mostly there. The entire thing, though, we're going to need probably the easiest thing to do here would just be to have, let's do background color here. Color base, I think is what we're going to do. Or is it the same as the background? Maybe it's the same as the background. And then I just need a box shadow. I've got these utility classes I set up of our shadow. And yeah, they help. Let's take this section down here. We'll put this in like another div. We'll call this content, I guess. And I'm just assigning random classes here. We'll do some padding here. For our space large. Well, that was adventurous. Why is that? I guess we could do 450 or something like that. Make it a little bit bigger. That's the problem. 420. And then we'll set the width here to 100%. Let's just give it a class. And we'll do the same thing here. Fit content or object fit cover. Okay, I think we're good there. But what I want to do is add some padding. Let's do more like small, medium. And then we'll do var space small up top. What if we do 0 and then at the bottom do that? All right, we're going to just do it like this, where this will be, people are just going to copy this part in, so. Too X small. That's why I like little utility libraries when you create them, because you can just do stuff like that. I don't know, I kind of feel like this needs to be smaller now. All right, we're going to call that good. So let's do overflow hidden. Oh, I can't do that because it'll kill my box shadow, won't it? If I do that on the article. No? Overflow hidden. Why would that not kill my box shadow? I don't know. But we'll do border radius. Far rounded small. And that way it clips everything. I think that should work. Let's go ahead and go to light mode. I mean, I feel pretty emotionally set with that. Although I kind of feel like this should be my base. Yeah, it needs to pop. Make it pop. As we already talked about. Okay, other questions. Considering the rise of blockchain technology, have you explored experimental decentralized solutions in web development? No, I have not. Nope, haven't done that yet. Don't know if I will. Not totally out of lack of interest, but partially. So I figured there's smarter people than I am doing that kind of stuff. So if I ever get around to it, I'll probably just have them tell me what to do. Let's come in here and add on top of this here a grid. No, rows. Do you have anything rows here? No. Let's just do it here then. Display grid, gap, var, space, text small. Okay. I feel emotionally satisfied by this. Okay, last thing I need to do is the entire thing really needs to be wrapped in an anchor link. So, yeah, I think this will work. So here we're going to have this be, I'm supposed to have a link to this whole thing. I never did that. Okay. So let's come back over here to the content collection. This will need some kind of link or href, t.url, t.string, .url, right? Okay. So right now we'll just point this nowhere. What do I call this? href. I don't know. I like struggle between should I call them href because it'll be a href or should I call it URL? I'll call it URL, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's like a defined way of doing that where people have an idea of what you should do. Oh, it needs to be an actual URL. Well, then let's send them to Google. We'll send them here. How about this? Okay. We're going to rickroll these people so seriously. Okay. So we'll close this down. And then let's make sure that this project tile, I'm going to just make it the anchor link itself, display a block. Definitely thought that would help. Maybe let's do this instead. And this is not display block anymore because it's going to be, yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that works. Let's just say text decoration, none. Now, this is focus state is not really working, so let's see what's going on. All right, a couple other questions. Hey, you're welcome for the Astro tutorials. Hey, you're welcome, Facile. Hey, thank you from Dubai. Appreciate it. Building your portfolio, watching your Astro video. Awesome. Yeah, this is the final project in the first section of 3 for my course. So that's what I'm working on right now. Very slowly, evidently, today. But I don't know if it's that much faster or slower than normal. Okay, so when I am focused on this, why is this thing not getting focus state? Focus, let's just do focus visible. Text decoration, none. Oh, you know what? That's because I knew this was going to cause me problems here. Is this overflow hidden? Or is this, yeah, this right here. So now if I come in here, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just need to add border radiuses to the image. Where's my border radius? Here we go. So if the article has that, basically I just need to add this to the top. So I guess we could do this in a couple ways, but you can just do like this, 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 and this, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so now I get focus states on that as well. And I built that in earlier to where just anchor links get that box shadow kind of focus thing automatically. Cool. And if you click anywhere here, it takes you to be rickrolled. Okay. That's what we want. Would you consider making a dedicated video about Zod in form of tricks and tips? Yeah, I've long wanted to do that. There's actually some really cool stuff you can do narrowing, like based on what type somebody chooses for something. Then you can say also add these things on. So like there's a lot of cool stuff with Zod. I'm not sure I'm an expert, but like I think I have enough to share on it in a video. Hey, welcome to me, Tammy, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and add just one more, and then we'll call this section done. I'm pretty happy with this section overall. Sure. Okay, let's do that. What do we call this other one? React to do app or something like that. We'll call this tailwind.jpg. What was the other one called? React app. Okay. Let's come back over here then. React to do app. And here we've got CSS, React, and Vite for some reason. What? And right now these are just like pulling from my, ooh, look at that. See? Bad design. Or not bad design, bad implementation. So where are we at? This content, display grid, justify, content, flex, start. No. Justify items, start. No. What's getting this situation going? Or it's being pushed to the middle by this content. This also has. Huh. How did I set this up poorly? Oh, now I'm rickrolling myself. So these rows, place item center. Ah! Curse you, rows. Okay, so let's come inside here. And do we just need to counter that? That's kind of stupid. I'm not sure I like that idea. Justify content start. Justify items, I mean. I don't know that I really like that. I don't know. All right, a couple other questions. Personally prefer Astro over Next.js or WordPress for content website. We talked about that a little earlier, but yeah, my preference is Astro. Yeah, I think Astro is liked by a lot of devs. It's just, it depends if you're like working with a big company or have to pass the project off or something like that. Like there's a lot of considerations. But if I'm going to be working on it and nobody else is, Astro every time. Astro to the moon. All right, there we go. Even got those icons coming in properly. If I hover, I don't know how that will work actually. Because I guess these things, let's figure it. Ooh, that's interesting. What's going on down here? I don't know. Make sure this is all working in light mode too. Insert the my eyes meme. Okay. There we go. All right. There's a possibility we should do like a little switch toggle thing down here between different themes, which I don't currently have. But I should probably just stick with the design for now. Okay. So we're going to call this basically prepped. I'm sure I'll change this as I actually record it live, but lesson 43, prepped. Get checkout. All right. Next section, this whole connect card. Now, I have not yet shown people how to do dynamic endpoints at this point in the course, so I can't really actually submit this to a database like through some like secure API call or something. But hey, everyone, welcome, Outerlord. We are in the presence of greatness right now. A question is not relevant to the stream, or you just missed it. Oh, I must have missed it. Do you know of a way of making static website that can be hosted as a GitHub page that you as an admin can log into by adding more pages like projects or blog? A bit like Notion, but without the backend. You can use like Redis and AppStash for content. Yeah, so I mean, there are some CMSs that tie directly into GitHub. I don't know how they work with if they're hosted like as GitHub pages, how all that works. But like KeyStatic's a great example where basically you own the content. CloudCan is the same kind of way, and it just spins up kind of an editor for you that you can access. KeyStatic is super easy to get started with. I really want to make a video on it. I just haven't had time. I don't know if that's helpful to you though. Okay, so let's do this next. Key static is just a single word. Static, static, I think. Yep, you're welcome. Okay, so let's go ahead and build this form thingy out. I guess I should have figured out what was happening with the icons before I just bailed on that. Because they seem to be, no, they're bad here too. Huh. I don't know what's going on with these. Not really sure. Okay. Let's look at the dribble. Huh. That's weird that it's having issues. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Okay. So let's do another section here. We'll call this, so this will be more of a like a general component because it's going to be used on several sites. I don't really like this structure. I'm going to change this around for sure. So let's drag this up first of all. It's going to break a couple things, but that's okay. We'll open up the index page, save this. Come back inside here. I think I created those relative or those absolute imports. Okay, there we go. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is create another kind of top level component here. We'll call this like contact form to Astro. And what I probably want to do, we'll eventually make it, I don't even know if I'm going to get to it in this stream, but key static looks great. Hey, you're welcome. Okay, yeah. Now key statics seems super cool. I mean, it's definitely like early stages, but why not get into it now, I think. So yeah. Simon Swiss, I think is how he goes by on Twitter, but he used to do a lot of stuff for Tailwind and now worked with, not coming to my mind, but anyhow, he's done some stuff with key static and Astro before and is a legend of a YouTube creator personally, I think. He's just such a good communicator, a lot of fun. All right, so let's get rid of this form action for now. We're going to have this whole thing inside of a section wrapper, actually, so let me do this as well. These are all components I set up earlier before the stream, just because like I said, I'm working on my course, contact form. And the reason I'm having this label be passed along here is, generally speaking, like you should pass along labels like this, or have an ARIA label, or have it pointing to an ID, and have it referenced that way. But that way, when you actually interact with this with an accessibility tree, you see regions listed out, like that you actually have real regions, like introduction to Katie, features banner, recent projects. It actually defines regions, and that's kind of the idea here. These articles also could use some help, so maybe we should do that as well while I'm thinking about it. But yeah, they have a basic link, what they're about. They have a heading, so you could reference those articles as well, but you see how they have no defined like label. So you can do this in a couple of different ways. Maybe let's go back to those tiles. One thing you can do is have this where it's, let's see, ARIA referenced. What is that? Labeled by. ARIA labeled by. And you point it to the ID of whatever the heading is right here. So probably what you should do is have some kind of like ID here that you pass along where you slugify. Do I have a slugify function? I must not. Basically, where you slugify that text. Or honestly, what I would do in this case is just label it by the title, whatever the title happens to be. And now each of these articles, if I come inside here, I thought they would have this. Oh, this is ARIA label. Now they'll each have this, like this article is about the React To Do app. This is about the landing page. Or you can point it to the ID of the header. But again, I don't want to have to like slugify that and all this. I think it's the same either way. And I'm happy to be called out on that if that's not right. Hey, welcome. Okay, so we've got this form here. What else are we trying to build out? I'm getting distracted. Okay, we've got, this is kind of an interesting UX UI thing. So I'm not sure how we should wrap this on mobile because I don't have a mobile design. I'm just going to kind of YOLO it on mobile here. But maybe we should extract this out here and do our own thing just for a second. Let's detach this instance so we can do whatever we want. Like on mobile, what should this look like? Like this maybe? I don't know. And this could stay here. Just thinking how this should look. And this could be full screen as well, I guess, or just about. And obviously this would stretch as well. Yeah, so let's set it up like that. So it'll be a flex container. Now, I think I'd prefer to have it grid. Then the only question is, do I make this position absolute, or do I just lay this whole thing out in a grid system? Again, I'm not going to have people write CSS, so I'm going to write all the CSS anyhow. I think, or you could just do margin. I think I'd prefer to do grid here. So what we'll do is have, if I can draw some lines here. What in the world? Figma, why you gotta be like this? Okay, so let's just do it down here. I'm gonna copy this down again, and we'll detach the instance. All right, so inside here, like this will be our first line, right? We'll have another section here. This is on desktop, obviously. So we'll call that like, it's not probably quite 2 to 1, but yeah, 1.6 to 1, something like that. And then here we've got what, 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, and 4. So probably what we'll do is just set a defined height here. I guess I could do the same thing here, right? I just would have to add 1 extra little spot, but I probably have to add the same amount over there. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So we'll just add like 30 pixels or something like that. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 grid lines, or 3 sections, right? Yeah, 1, 2. I have to visualize this. I'm not smart enough to do this in my head. Wait, I'm on Figma? Yeah, I'm on Figma. Flex is better. I think for this, it's just a preference. I would prefer to use grid, but yeah. Okay, so I think I'll do this. We'll do 3 rows, 2 columns. That's easy enough. Okay. So all this is going to be inside of another section here that has a class of container. And here we're going to have 2 things. We'll have the image, which I'll pull in from Astro image. And this, we need to grab the image here. Let's see. Got it here from my hero. Same import. Just to separate this out. Components. Katie. Alt is Katie Haas. I think that's what we called her. Let's go ahead and pull this in so we can actually see it live. Contact form. What up, Katie? Okay. We'll do aspect ratio here probably. It's probably the easiest thing. So let's just do that. We'll give this a class of like headshot. And Katie, why you gotta be like that? What did I do wrong? Aspect ratio, that's it, right? Object fit cover. There we go. Now we'll do border radius. Rounded small, isn't that what I have? What? Radius. Spelling. Let's see, does this have like shadow situation? No, it does not. Okay. So we'll call that good. Maybe we'll set a width here of like 500. This should probably also not be, I should probably be using the actual picture component. So maybe I'll switch that around here in a little bit. We'll say like, make it the same size as what it is. That'll work. Okay, then we got the form itself, and let's figure out what we got over here. I'm going to have to build some extra components. So this stuff, button, that's fine. So let's go ahead and just drop these things in here. Here we'll have a heading. This will be an H2 tag type because it's the only real thing in here. Size, we'll also do H2. And that could have gone better. Let's connect. Got a paragraph down here. It says reach out. Okay. Here, this form, let's go ahead and set like a max width on this. Goodness. Let's do 30. Let's do characters instead, since I can't type. You know what? Let's do like 32 characters, and then we'll just do text wrap of balance, which is a newish thing. So if you have a modern browser, you get this. If you have an older browser, you could suck it. You don't get that wrapper. That's fine. All right. Don't ever code in the morning early publicly. You know what I'm saying? All right. So over here, we've got now a button or a link. Is this going to be a link? Nope, not going to be a link. So probably either need to probably just need to create a separate component here. Or I could extend this to where it could be either. Let's do that. We're going to make this optional though. And secondary, yeah. I think that's what we'll do. And then we'll say that this could also be a button component. And we could say that if there's href that's passed in, then we'll do that. And if there's no href that's passed in, which I mean, this could just be like a simple ternary, but I think I'd rather do it like this. We'll make this a button. And obviously you won't have an href. How do I feel about this? Class string iterable. What's going on with this? Types, property type or incompatible. I don't know, TypeScript. Deal with it. I'm saying it could be either of these, right? Why would that have any more problem than this? I don't know. Let's just see if it works. All right, so let's come over here and I can figure out the type later. Thought it was night over there. It's early morning. VS Code. And here I should be able to pass along a type of submit now that it's a button. What do we call this thing? Contact me. So it is a button. That's good. We just need to style it now the same way. So let's also say that this could also be a button. Does that help? Yeah. That works. Let's see. I've got my CSS file over here. This should also be the same, I think. That way I get this, yeah. That'll work. Okay, cool. So this works. I just need to figure out why this thing hates me. Classic string. Yeah, why isn't this cool with that? Because it works with the anchor like that should be the same. Not totally sure. Okay, that'll work. Now we do need to create some other stuff. But I guess first of all, let's go ahead and add some padding here of our space small. Let's do box shadow. Oh, box shadow. Come on. I think that looks right. Only thing is this needs to be background color, color base, right? I think that should work. Let's check it in light mode. Okay, that looks good. Let's also, I guess, make this grid gap space small. Sure. Let's wrap this top section here in a little div. No, maybe not. Let's just decrease this and call it good. All right, so now we've got these little components we need to build out. And probably the best thing to do, like, do I want to make separate components for these? Or just have duplicate components right here? I don't know. Like, the hard thing is, like, we could spend like 17 hours on this site for the course, and I don't want to do that. We should probably have like an input.astro. So here, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to steal a lot of this right here, drop this in here, and this is going to be a type of input. We do not need that. Primary, also don't need that. We just spread in the rest. And right now I don't have anything else I'm passing in, but I guess I would need, really I would need a couple extra things, right? So I'd have to have a label, right? This would just be a string. What else might I want? I mean, a placeholder, I guess, but I can pass it in directly. So this really isn't a type of, yeah, so that's not right. So let's just make this a type of props. It doesn't have to extend anything in particular. I mean, really what I should do is have both a label and an input type, but I don't really want to do that, so. Couldn't VS Code Divine be exported as Astro code? There might be something that can do that. I'm not sure. But like, I would still go through and like make a lot of the decisions, and I don't know, I think I'd rather just do it. But maybe I'm an idiot, and maybe there's like something really good out there that I don't know about. Let's do a placeholder. It should also be a string. And then we'll do a name, which will also be a string. I think we'll call that good. So let's go ahead and do, let's do like rows here, which is a utility class I have. And here we'll have, is that what I want? I don't know. Let's just do a label. And we'll point this to the name. And I can't really spread in rest because we're not going to be typing this in any meaningful way. This will be the label, and then we'll have the input. I also probably need a type. And this will be HTML input element. Can I like pick off the type? So this will be one of these. Strings as assignable with type. Well, this isn't a string, is it? I thought that's what this did. Provides special property methods. Thank you. That's exactly what I want. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Placeholder. will point to my placeholder. And I know there are like libraries that do this, but I want people to build stuff out because I think it will help them. I think that's good-ish. All right, so as a starting point, so let's go ahead and bring in an input here. Let's see what time it is. I've got about 5 minutes and then I'm going to be done. So let me just check something real quick. Okay. There's a lot of web equivalent Swift UI, but there was a seamless transition between the builder to the code, and you can always change or add anything manually. Yeah, I think builder.io might be what you're thinking about. That is super helpful. Hey, Eddie, welcome. Good morning. Name type equals maybe. But yeah, builder.io has some cool stuff, and I think you can directly import. A lot of it here is like I'm building out this project for a course, so I want people to build this out themselves. So like I wouldn't use that kind of no matter what right now, but not because I think it's necessarily bad. I've used like code generation tools in my personal projects and stuff. So let's grab these. Okay. So label, first name. What else do I have? Name. Be name. Or I guess we could do like first name. Placeholder would be this. What else? Type as text. So this just says string. I'm trying to figure out how to type that properly because that's not what I want. But now it pulls all this in, and that's what I want it to look like. Cool. Okay, so let's copy these down again. And we'll do email address. We'll email. So if I try to submit this, okay, so it is correctly passing that type along, so that's good. Type name type equals what'd you say? Name type equals. I'm not sure I'm following you there. Hey SK, welcome. All right, I think this should work because I'm picking this type thing off. But it says it's a string, which it is a string, but shouldn't it be able to tell what kind of string it is? And I don't know. Astro, JSX input style type Astro. HTML input type attribute. Let's steal this. This has got to be it. Can I pull this in from somewhere? What did I mess up? Oh. Where is it getting this from then? Astro.jsx. Can I steal this? Hey, we did a thing. Okay, that works. All right. Now we just need to style it. So I guess let's do that next. Man, it's taking my time today. It is a string. Input type from Astro types. Is that better than what I did, Outerlord? Where I just stole the... What did I do? I stole this. Am I allowed to steal? HTML attribute type from Astro types. Okay, let's see if that works. That's probably better than what I did here. But just in case, I'm going to keep mine there. I'll do HTML attributes. And then, yeah, let's pass the input. Because it's probably going to do that behind the scenes, right? Type. That's a better idea. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Outerlord. All right, back over here. Come to these inputs. Let's group these, I guess. We'll put this in a div. I do have this utility called rows that stacks them, but it puts them in the middle, so not sure I love that. So let's just style these separately. So I'll grab my div, and this is all scoped because that's how Astro is. Display grid, gap, var, space, spice again. 2x small. Do I have a 3x small? Do I have a 4x small? I don't know. Let's do something like that. Label, we're going to do... where's my global stuff? Do I have anything that handles those? Okay. Are these? Yeah, they're already that way. Okay. I like my disclaimers here. Like basically this is not meant to be just used willy-nilly. Let's do text decoration, text transform, uppercase. That'll work. Font, weight, bold. I think we'll leave the rest of that there. I guess this color should be, come on. I can't type today. Accent. That will work. Okay. Now here we've got two different options. I guess the other thing then we need to do is probably for this one have like a padding inline start. Basically small, something like that, because this is, I'm not totally sure. Should these be left aligned? I don't know what the current thing is. I kind of feel like that doesn't look right. I mean, I know we haven't finished it yet, but I'll do my input here either way. And for now, we'll just set this padding here. I don't know, we'll see. Background color will be var. Let's do base. Because I want it to be the same as the background, yeah. Muted? No, I just have it text. Okay. I'm like just kind of loosely following this design. I mean, I came up with it so I can do what I want. Border radius, var full. Okay. Color muted or accent maybe. What did I have it at when you're typing? I don't show that. So maybe we just make this text and then let's do the placeholder. And here we'll have muted. Just make sure this is working. Accent is not working. The placeholder here. Should be right? Let's see what's going on. The placeholder. What am I missing here? Input placeholder. Aha. The double colon. Okay, so let's go back to muted. All right, ready to burn your eyes out. Okay. Looks all right. See, this is that left align thing I wasn't sure about. Does it look better like that? Or does it look better like that? I don't know what people do or what you're supposed to do, but with a fully rounded thing, I kind of felt like it was that, but now that looks weird. Maybe we split the difference and do neither well. I don't know. You tell me. Yeah, I don't think it's documented, our Lord, but your way works better because that's what I should be telling people to do. So not just like YOLOing it with stuff I see pop up in IntelliSense. Okay, so we add stuff in here. That should all work. Submit it. Email at email.com. Cool. Okay. It is a functioning form. Let's also do some focus states here. So we'll say focus, outline, transparent, and that way, if you're using more accessibility things where you are defining that, that will help. And then here we're going to say box shadow of shadow. Nope, that's not what I wanted. CSS. You know what I should do? I should extract all this logic, because this doesn't need to be something people are writing. They're already going to be copying in stuff. So I'm going to extract all this out and drop it in right here. And then the other thing I can do is basically take this and drop it in right here. Okay, so now those things are also highlighted, and I guess I don't really need it that way, right? What did I do? I just changed it. So let's just change the border color to accent. Yeah. That's clear enough, right? Okay. I think we're calling that good. All right. I'm probably going to call it good for now because I've got other stuff I got to run to today, but hopefully that was enjoyable. This is like, I'm hoping to start recording this tomorrow. I probably got to put in another couple hours at least to get this even halfway decent. There's just a lot of little things to consider, and we spent a lot of time today chatting about clients, and I always go slower when I stream, but I enjoy it more because it's not just me in my basement by myself. It's me in my basement by myself with friends, you know? Thanks, Tammy. Thanks for joining. I will catch you guys next time. Again, if you're interested in this course, it's at learnastro.dev. You're welcome to check that out. Learnastro.dev. I think it'll be a big help. Really, my intention is to give you all the tools you need to build whatever you want. But instead of focusing on like extra stacks or other things people have, we're strictly focusing on Astro and understanding how Astro works. But it's $50 right now. I've got about 4.5 hours of content up currently. Hey, Logan, you're welcome. But lots planned for the second section and the third section. It'll be at least 15 hours of content by the time I'm done. Honestly, this project itself will probably be another 5 hours, so we're probably going to be at close to 10 hours. Maybe not 5. It might be 3, something like that, but it'll probably be close to 8 to 10 just with section 1, and then I still have section 2 and section 3. Section 3 will kind of be the kicker, what'll be basically just a huge project. I'm not yet sure what I'm going to do. Either something e-commerce, perhaps, with like a full CMS and everything else. But again, I'm trying to stick with just like what you need to know with Astro. But if I can get all that done in the first 2 sections, then I could say for the third section, I could have like a higher tier where if you want to learn this particular stack, like maybe I'd have Firebase or I'd have something else. I'm not sure exactly what I'd do for that third and final section. But anyhow, all that to say, that's my plan for the rest of the course. You're welcome to check it out. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. So thanks so much for following along today. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.